LeadOR. My name is Victoria Cabrera, and today we have some very special guests, my very good friends Zack and Kelly, and we want to go over just getting to know you guys. And I know right now is a crazy time. You know, we just hear so much negative stuff on the news, so I want to get back to just talking about real life stuff. So first of all, I want to introduce Kelly and Zack with the Frontline Team, right?
Yes.
And they are some of the best real estate agents in am I doing that correct? I would say realtors, real estate agent. What's the difference?
We kind of answered all. I guess it depends on the day of the week.
Yeah. So is there a difference?
So the difference between real estate and realtor is realtor, you have to be, or you are part of the San Antonio Board of Realtors.
Uh-huh.
And when you're not part of an association, you're a real estate agent.
Okay.
So we're realtors.
Okay.
We're both part of San Antonio Board of
Realtors.
Realtors.
Learned that today.
I learned something, right? We learn something new every day. So I really just want to get to know you. I mean, I know you guys pretty well, but I want the audience to get to know you guys really well. You know, there's so much things going on right now, but I want to get to know you, let them know kind of some things that we're going to talk about is one, you guys obviously are a couple and you work together quite often. And we just want to see how that works. Talk about mindset and talk about, you know, just all kinds of things, giving back, how you guys became successful over the course of how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing it just about 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, in general real estate, I've been a little over 2.
So, I mean, combined together about 6 years, but you guys are like kicking ass and taking names right now. And don't worry, you can cuss on the podcast, so
okay.
We're not going to beep anything out.
Okay.
So tell me, so Kelly, how did you get started? Because I know we go way back. Like we came from the insurance industry, so I kind of know your background, but tell us more about you, how you got started in real estate, how you got there, and then how you guys came to work together.
So I did insurance prior to real estate, and I've always been in sales. Mm-hmm. And at the very beginning, many years ago, I would say like, I'm always in sales and I don't even want to be in sales. Like, no, you have to sell something. You got to get people like you. But I always ended up in sales, and it just has always ended up working out. Yeah. And so when I was doing insurance, it was insurance for new home sales. Mm-hmm. I was talking to buyers from all over the United States who were purchasing homes, and I would reach out to them to offer them insurance services. Mm-hmm. So I was speaking to mortgage companies, escrow officers, title companies on a daily basis. So I knew a little bit of the lingo, and I knew a bit of the process. And I sat behind a cubicle. Well, we did it together. Yeah. We sat behind a cubicle, 2 computer screens, 8 hours a day, every single day, 40 hours a week, going over the exact same thing every single day. And I thought, I know this is not forever for me. I knew that it was just something that I had to go through and learn everything I could. And I'm super grateful, because I believe that I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for the last company that we were at, which was USI. I was there for almost 9 years. And I just learned so much. Yeah. And also, being in the part of the transaction where you're helping someone with the process of their home, because we needed to make sure insurance was set up, and being part of that, I thought, you know what, one day I want to be in real estate. I want to be selling homes versus just doing the insurance part. And the way I just pictured it in my mind, it just happened that way. I thought, what's going to happen? How am I going to leave USI? How is that going to transition? And USI had terminated the books of business with some of the builders, and little by little they were laying people off throughout, after so many years, and I was the last man standing. Yeah. And then that book terminated, the book of business terminated with that builder. So they said, we're going to lay you off, which was a little scary. I had been there for 9 years. But before getting the news of laying off, maybe like a few days before that, I had enrolled at Sabor.
Oh, okay.
So I had already put it in my mind, I'm going to do real estate. A couple of days later, they tell me, hey, we're going to lay you off, and we're going to give you a severance, and you'll be able to claim unemployment. So really, for like the first year of getting into real estate, going through the classes and just learning everything, I was getting paid by the last job. I mean, it really doesn't get any better than that. Yeah. I was super blessed, extremely blessed. And it just took off since then.
And sometimes things happen, like we think, okay, getting laid off, like you said, it's scary. Like I've been there too. And sometimes when bad things happen, it's always things that'll happen for the better. Like maybe, it might be where you're the next step in where you need to be. I'm a big believer in that. Like, I know that you said sales was kind of not your thing. You're like, oh, well, I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to do this. But I always tell people that sales is, in my brain, it's a problem solver. We're simply helping people solve problems. Like, and so for when I hear you say the sales thing, I can identify to that because I've always been that way too. Like, I don't know, but I've always been really good at it. So it's kind of like, I think if you know how to help people solve problems, do you think I know that you said they kind of let you go and there was a severance and, you were able to take advantage of the unemployment that was well deserved at that point. Do you think that you could have done it without all that in place?
I could have.
Yeah.
I could have. I think it's all about mindset. And I really, really wanted to be successful.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make real estate work.
Yeah.
And in my mind, there was not another option. It was going to either work or it was like a sink or swim. Yeah. So although I did have, that huge blessing, I still would have gone for it, whether that was there or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you relate to that, Zach? Like, is that something, how did you get in real estate? Like, what was the deciding factor? Was it?
I got to step in a little easier because I worked for a new home builder. So I was there for a little over 4 years and I pretty much learned everything through that company. It's not, we don't have our license when you work for a builder. So it was kind of just warming me up. And the transition into real estate was fairly easy because now, instead of just working for one builder and only helping sell one product, I was able to expand out to anywhere now. So if anyone wanted any kind of house or sell a house, I can help them with that.
Do you feel like was there a point in there? Because I know I feel like this sometimes, but did you feel like there was a ceiling when you were working with these companies? Like, did you feel like you couldn't spread your wings, or was there something deeper that it was just like, I'm happy, but I'm really not happy? Like, something, was there like a turning point? What happened? Like, can y'all talk to that?
For me, it's funny because I felt that way, but now that I'm in general real estate, I look back and I see all the things I didn't do, all the opportunity that I didn't take advantage of, and I guess it's just gained a comfort there. But there was still so much opportunity there, but there's still so much more in general real estate.
Yeah, I hear. I know there's a lot of the successful guys out there and girls that say, in order to be comfortable, you have to get uncomfortable. Do you agree with that, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, because I can also agree with Kelly, where I felt I need to make it no matter what. And jumping into real estate, it is a sink or swim. If you come in and you just stay at home all day, maybe talk to one or two people a day, it's probably just not going to happen. And there's not a safety cushion in real estate.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's good because real estate's so sexy, right? Everybody wants to be in real estate. I'm in insurance. Nobody wants to be in insurance, but I love doing it. But everybody wants to be in real estate. What do you think the percentage of people, like if you had 10 people and they all gotten their license and they all went into the same company, independent, selling houses or helping buyers purchase houses, what do you think the percentage of those 10 people, how many of them would fail and how many of them would still be in it today?
Maybe like eight would fail. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but I believe it's like the first year of somebody getting their license, I believe it's like 80. It's only like 20 people that have it, and then by the second year, and don't quote me because I can't remember the exact numbers, but I thought for the second year was like 3 people.
Yeah, they were pretty shocking numbers when they said that. It's like, dang. And I think the average income of a realtor is what, $6,000
a year.
A year.
Wow. I mean, I think like with going back to the mindset you were talking about, like I think people go in with this preconceived notion that they're going to make a ton of money and they're going to kill it and they're going to, which it will because you guys are doing that right now. But what are some of the things that, like, if somebody's listening right now and they're like getting their real estate license and they think that they're going to just hit it out of the park, what are some things that you could tell them right now that they can expect? Like they need to have these things in place in order to at least make it to that second and third year. What could you tell them?
So you definitely need a schedule, and it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy. But there's a saying in, I think is it Bold?
I think
it comes from our Keller Williams family that we absolutely love. But there's a saying that says if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
and and it's easy to get sidetracked because you're self-employed. Hey, I sold a house yesterday. I don't need to do anything for the rest of the month.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just depends how you will make it, and you will get it if you want it bad enough.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Because it's not to rain on anyone's parade coming into real estate. We'd hope that everyone makes it because there's enough for everyone. But it's not to be forgotten that it's a career that needs work. People coming in have to put the work in. It's not going to fall in your lap.
Yeah. And you have, I mean, like you said, there's plenty to go around.
Plenty.
I want to touch base on that because it happens a lot in our industry where people are so, I mean, it's good to be competitive. I like to see what the big players are doing because I like to not copy, but kind of mold myself, maybe take some of the things that they're doing that are making them successful and implement in my business. But can you talk on that? Because I know maybe we can change people's minds out there. Like, why do you think people are so competitive and like, not in a good way? Like you can call them haters, you can call them envious, you can call them whatever you want. Why do you think there's some people out there like that? Because I still try to wrap my head around it.
I think they probably just, for me personally, I would have to say a lot of people just see the pretty picture. Oh, look at them, they're vacationing. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. But they don't see the hard work.
Yeah.
Because as much as we post videos, hey, here's another walkthrough that we're doing, or here's another showing, there's a lot that we can't post. We're in and out of houses, like in and out. There's sometimes where, and you're with clients, you know, you have to be telling them, hey, things about the home and educating them as you're showing. So we can't really put everything on video. So I think people just kind of see the pretty picture and they feel that I could do it too without putting in the work, because not all the work is shown. There's some nights where I don't even sleep because I'm thinking about the business.
Yeah. I mean, you guys personally helped us buy our home, and I saw how hard you guys work. Like, I mean, we were going through some situations where we were texting you guys like at 10 o'clock at night. Not that y'all should do that with, but I mean, but it was good to know that we had somebody there. But I've seen you guys in work, and I see the hustle that you put in. What can you say? So like going back to when you guys post that you're on vacations or the new cars or this or that, people might only see that, right? And do you think that has a lot to do with people like, oh man, like, you know, a lot of people may feel down on themselves because they're not where they want to be at that point. What advice can you give somebody? What advice can you give to somebody that is feeling in a rut? Maybe they're like, man, I've been hustling, I've been doing hard work, I'm not seeing the follow through. What is going on? Like, what would be some good advice for those people?
You just have to keep on moving. You've got to keep on moving, and don't worry about what the neighbor's doing or what somebody else is doing. Worry about what you're doing. And if you're worried about you,
I would say, and definitely chase that goal and that dream. I think a lot of times actually, some people can put their goals and dreams on hold because they think, I only see that on TV, or I only see that for a couple of the rich people in San Antonio. It's like, no. You know, a lot of them start from the ground up, and they just kept chasing their goal.
Yeah, you got to be specific. Like, even I remember when Kelly and I used to work together, we'd be at our cubicles, and I'd be like, man, this ain't for me. Like, this is going to be mine one day. This agency's I'm going to have people working with us, and I want a business like this. That was my dream. I didn't know when it was going to happen. And, you know, it took me I hit a really bad financial time back in, I think, 2014. Nobody knew what was going on because I was not dwelling on that. I was not like, oh, poor me. Oh, I can't do this. Like, nobody knew, not even my friends.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Nobody knew. And so, but because in my mind, I was like, okay, this is temporary. This is just what I have to go through to get where I need to be. This is what happens. Like, I almost kind of trained myself to be like, oh, I have to go through this. Like, there's no choice. And if you don't go through it, you can't get there. And I think, who said it? Somebody said you have to get through it to get to it. Maybe it was Tony Robbins. I don't know. Somebody said it. You got to get through it to get to it. And I'm a big believer in that. So, you know, the fact that people might see the end result, I mean, for you guys, this is not the end result. I mean, I can see you guys even, I've always told Kelly, man, we're going to be, we're going to be where we see in the movies, right? But the cool thing I think the reason why you and I stayed friends is we had a lot of things in common, but one thing that we agreed on, or that we always could agree, that having the vision is the most important part. We could, I mean, even as bad as we had it, or what we dealt with in the past, having the focus and the vision, and not, I don't know, what do you guys think? Because I meet a lot of people that they want to do real estate, but they want to do insurance, and they want to do this, and they want to do that. Like, they're trying to juggle 5 different things. Would you guys think focusing on one thing?
Absolutely. You have to have one thing. If you're not focused on your one thing, you're going to try to be focused on so many different things that you're not going to be good at any of them, because you're everywhere. You need to focus on your one thing.
There's a book out, and our brokerage stands behind, called The One Thing, that we need to finish reading. But in that book, it talks about that you need to put all of your energy in that one thing that you want to accomplish.
What about times right now? So let's just say I got my license in real estate, and now I'm in my 3rd year and I'm doing good, but I'm not where I want to be. Like, I'm barely getting to that level where I might get to, like, whew, all right, I'm doing things, and then bam, something like the coronavirus hits, or something like it doesn't have to be coronavirus. It could be a personal thing that you've gone through, or maybe a loss in the family, or something hits, and it just takes the wind out of your sails. Can people expect to go through things like that? Does it, and how do they overcome that? Like, how do you get through that to stay focused? Because it's easier said than done, right? It's easier said than done. So it's like, I mean, we've all been through stuff, but how do you, what would be good advice for people that are like, I'm going through this thing with my family, or I've had a loss in the family, or I can't deal with this pandemic stuff, it's stressful. Like, what are things that people can do to help them get through those times?
So I've had a loss in the family, and you have to have a good support system, not just from your friends, but also your coworkers and the people that you work with. And that was definitely what I had to take some time away from real estate, but I knew that I had to get back to it eventually. But I took the time that I needed, and I wasn't rushed or anything like that. And I had a great support system. I had just joined Scott Malouf's team, and they were all there for me. So
yeah.
So support.
Great. Yeah, that's a great point. And I didn't think about it, but yes, surrounding yourself with the right friends, loved ones, coworkers, people that you aspire to join their ranks, that's key. Because if you're not, it's, your mindsets will match. Yeah.
Like, I know if I have a bad day, like, I'm just like, man, I just want to be in bed all day. I don't want to. But then it's like, okay, why am I trying to get where I'm at? Like, I always think about my family. Like, I say this all the time. It gets old because I say it so much. But I'm like, okay, I think about my nieces and my nephews and my mom and my sisters. Like, if I get here, or when I get there, how can I help these people, right? How can I help not only my circle, but how can I help people beyond my circle? I don't want to get controversial or anything, but I see so much right now with everything that's going on. But I was talking to Carmenza, my fiance, and I was telling her, I was like, look, people, I get it, they want to have a voice. But I'm like, can you ask yourself, what are the 5 things that I've done lately for somebody else outside of my family, or even for family, that have been, I've taken action to help these people in any way? Paying the light bill for somebody that was in need, walking out there and giving a homeless person a meal, donating to a charity. I'm curious, like, how many people, like, if you have people, like, your circle of people, especially the ones that are, like, real loud, like, they always have an opinion. And if you were to ask them, what are the last 5 things that you've done this year, just this year, that have helped somebody else? What do you think that answer would be?
Oh, that's tough.
Well, anyone can make anything up, but
I'm talking true to the heart, because I'll be honest, like, I feel like I don't help out as much as, like, I help my agents with what they need. I think I could do better. Like, I always think of things that I can improve around, like, in my life. Like, I have a great career, I have a good personal life, a good relationship. Like, I am beyond blessed. But then I think, man, like, am I not doing enough to help people around me? Like, we live over here on the east side of town and we see homeless people all the time. Could I just be handing out pizza or whatever it is, just to little things that don't need to be known?
Right.
And I question myself sometimes, like, am I not doing enough? Should people, I don't know. I'm just speaking out loud, you know?
I think just that you even think that way is huge. Just us even driving over here. I was telling Zach, we are so blessed, and we need to keep remembering to give back because that's part of the blessings.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, it's not something that you announce, but I'm very, very big on that. If it's even just somebody saying, "Hey, I had several people reach out to me during the coronavirus, and it wasn't like, "Hey, give me this," or "Hey, lend me this."
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, I'm going through a hard time. If there's anything that you could help out with, and I didn't even tell Zach, and I did it without hesitation because I remember I was there one time. And to be where we're at now, though, that's the only right thing to do is give back. And sometimes I feel the same way. Just driving over here, I told him, babe, we need to make sure that we're giving back. We need to make sure that we're paying it forward. And sometimes I think we're not doing it enough. So I think it's normal. I mean, I think it's
a giving heart gives you that mindset. Because I know I've told Kelly too, and I'll feel a little guilty sometimes. Maybe if I splurge on something, you know, I'll stop and be like, man, what have I done to help someone else? You know, am I being a little too focused inward and I'm not focused outward? It's just a guilty feeling. Maybe you can get, and Kelly's corrected me and told me it's not guilty. But yeah, I believe it's just, it's a helping heart will give you that kind of mindset, I think.
Yeah, I think, and that's where I think the people that really, not that people that are not, because success can mean anything. Like I think of success as having a good home and being a good leader and being kind and putting out the right messages and doing the right thing. Like I always told Carmenza, if I were to die today, one thing that people, and I know that one thing that people can say about me is Victoria was a good person. Like they can't take that away from me because not that I'm doing it on purpose, like, oh, I need to be good, I need to do this, but it's just because the way we grew up, we were always taught, like, be kind, like, give the shirt off your back, even when we didn't have it. And so I think, like, when I write down my goals and I'm writing how can I be better, what can I do better, I think that needs to be a part of anybody that's listening is, yeah, you know, your weight, you know, getting your financials in order, you're enhancing your relationship, building your networks, things like this, but how are you giving back? It doesn't have to be in a big way. It could be like you were an ear to somebody. Somebody's going through a hard. Sometimes just listening to somebody or having somebody to listen to you and vent. I mean, that means everything. It gets all that heaviness out of you, right? I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because I think right now during this time, I think we need how we can contribute. If you can't contribute financially, reach out to somebody that maybe is going through a hard time. How can you help them? Hey, can I go cut your grass? You don't have a lawnmower? Your lawnmower broke down? Can I come cut it? Hey, you need $50 to pay your water bill? Hey, I have this food I'm not going to eat in my pantry and it's good. Would you like this? Little things like that. And I just want to say to people out there before we get back to, is that there's no small gift. Like there's nothing.
No gestures too small.
Yes, there you go. No gestures too small.
The smallest thing can mean so much to someone, and we've seen it before. Even when it's been given to us or done for us, and we're like, oh, that was so nice. They did not have to do that. Can you think of all the thought that was behind them coming to do that for me? Wow, it makes me feel good. Then it helps you want to pass that back around.
I think that's and going back to, I think when you give more, I don't know if you guys read The Go-Giver, but that book.
You gave it to me.
I did give it to you.
You gave
I gave something.
There you go.
After I read it, I was like, I got to give it to someone.
The audio, you gave me the audio book.
Yeah, and I think it just teaches you the connections. Everything's connected. Like it's like, wow, like I don't know, it's really weird how the universe works or how God works or whatever it is that, you know, people believe in. Is just important to make that a part of your process, regardless of what your situation is. I just thought that was important to say. So with you guys, so like a lot of people make excuses. Like well, I can't do this because this, or I can't do that. What do you think it is? Is it just like a mindset, or people are trained differently? Is what's going on in people's heads when they're thinking like that?
I think it's just a mindset. And even for the motivated, when a hard time comes around and then you were in abundance and now you're at a scarcity, if you can reflect on yourself and you see all the excuses you made, all the shortcomings you were doing. All of that will be exposed to you, because you can, fib to anyone else, but you can't fib to yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I'm short on all of this now. My business is real low now. It was so good 2 months ago before all this happened. And then you start to see, well, I wasn't doing this. And, well, I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
I did this to myself.
Yeah. And it's okay to take breaks. Like with me, like these last 2 months, I've kind of taken the opportunity, like, well, I'm home. I've been working since I was 16, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's okay for me to give myself a break.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go sleep till I can't sleep past 10. But I mean, if I want to sleep till 10, or if I don't want to go work out today, if I want to just hang out in the pool, like I'm a lot. Before I was like, damn, I'm not working enough. Like
I feel guilty.
I have that guilt feeling, and I don't know why I can't get. But lately, it's like, no, I need to be grateful. Like, shoot, like I can do this. Like I can not go to work and like still be okay. Like those are things that I can be grateful for. So I think you're 100% right. But I think those people that are overachievers too, I think we all here kind of tend to be. I think it's okay to give yourself a break sometimes too, and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I find myself feeling really guilty.
Well, I think how I feel sometimes too, and again, I don't know what everyone believes in, but for me, it's a personal thing where I don't want God to think that I'm ungrateful for the blessings I already have, and think, oh, well, it's not enough. That'll feel bad for me. So personally for me, I'll take a day off, because I feel like I appreciate everything I have right now.
Yeah.
I want to just relax and soak this all in.
Yeah. That's the key, is just being in the present, right? Like being like, okay, you know what? It's okay. Like, I feel like I have 3 people on, like, not just 2 people, but I'm like, okay, it's going to be okay. But Victoria, you need, like, I'm constantly talking to myself in my head. And I was actually having a conversation with Carmenza. I'm like, God, I appreciate you so much, because I can have these conversations with you and you don't think I'm weird. Like, if I tell a normal person, like, oh yeah, the inside, my subconscious, or my other being in me that I'm talking to, like, what is this? This chick is crazy. Yeah. But the fact that I told her, man, I appreciate our conversations, because I can talk like this to you and you don't think I'm weird, because you can relate to me. So I want to get to that. Like, how did you guys, like, I know that you guys were both in real estate. What made you decide to kind of, like, I know you guys do individually your own thing, but you guys work together a lot. How's that work? Like,
so originally when he was starting real estate, I was on Scott Malouf's team, and he was thinking about joining another brokerage, and I was like, that's fine. I want you to do what you think is best for you. And the more and more we talked about it, we were like, So then he joined the team with Scott, and
it was a great time.
It
was, but we started to be able to work together really well, and we started to recognize ourselves as one, to where if she couldn't be around to help her clients, I could, and vice versa. So it was like our clients had 2 bodies, because there was always someone there to help. Where we see that as an advantage, because I know sometimes, you can't be with every client 100% of the time, but with 2 of us, we get pretty close at always being able to be there. And we both are hardworking, so we're falling into bed at 11 o'clock, like, whew. So it works, but we're at a point now to where we've both got so consumed that we used to go everywhere together. We'd go to every client, every walkthrough, every closing, and now there's no way. So we're still doing that, but now we're 2 separate bodies of the same body working out there.
What are I know I'm getting personal, but what are some of the struggles that you guys? Because I know with Carmenza, like, I was like, babe, we can make this insurance thing just take off. There's other people in the industry that do it together too, but at the same time, like, we're 2 different people, so I almost feel like I don't want to take away from what she loves to do. Like, she's great with numbers. She's a CPA. She loves that. I hate spreadsheets. Like I cannot deal with spreadsheets for the life of me. So for me, it was like, I don't want to make you do something that you're not happy doing, or like, because I know in the end we're going to be good no matter what. But it's just kind of selfishly, I was like, hey, if you come with me, then we can do whatever. We can go to Hawaii for a month, and we can go work over there, and it doesn't matter, you know? But like, I think it's important to give that person the freedom to choose, right? The freedom to make those decisions and to do what they love to do. I think so like, if there's a couple out there that, because you hear a lot, right? Like, you're not doing enough, or like, you should do this, or you're working for this company and you shouldn't do, like talk me through some of that stuff. Like, I know it can be good, but what are some of the hard things that you guys go through?
So we have different personalities.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And I have my way of doing my sales, and he has his way. And so a lot of the times, you know, in my head, I'm like, no, you shouldn't do it like that.
Yeah.
I would do it like this, and I would get it done because I'm straight to the point.
Yeah.
Nothing in between. Just get me to where I need to be. He's more of a, like, let me walk you through it. And I'm like, why are you walking them through it when you can just get them straight there? You're not doing it right.
I like the journey.
So I had to learn, and I'm still learning, that he has his own way of doing things, and it's okay. And if it's something that he does and he has to learn through it, then that's okay. I have my way of doing things, and he's probably not going to do things the way I do them, and I'm definitely not doing things the way he does them.
I get anxiety if I try doing things the way Kelly does them. I get anxiety.
Well, I mean, I can relate to that, because I know with Carmenza and it's silly stuff. Like, I could be washing dishes. I'll be like, I think I'm doing it the right way. And she'll be like, I know. She just wants to tell me, babe, that is not the right way. And I can feel her telling me. Like, I can feel the energy just like, babe, am I doing this okay? Like, should I be, you know, like, it's simple things, but...
That's us all day, every day.
Yeah. If I'm going to do something and she's looking over me, I'm like, get away. Don't watch me do it, because I know you're going to tell me how to do this.
And it could be something as simple as sweeping. You're not sweeping right.
Yeah. That, I guess, has been the only struggle I can think of. It's just two different mindsets. We do things two different ways. Yeah. It works for each other. We can learn off each other, but I guess it's, like you said, it's trying to pull the other one's way.
Yeah.
So
I think when you have, like, everybody has, like you say, everybody has their own way of doing things, and it's hard. Like, you always think you're doing it the right way, but what if you're not doing it the right way? What if you're not doing it? Like, what's the right way? But
well, my way is definitely the right way.
Always right. Always right.
I just feel like, but would you say that, all funniness aside, would you say that, what's the most important thing that you think would be in a relationship, especially if somebody's listening and they're like, oh man, this is scary. Now my husband wants to work with me, or my girlfriend wants to work with me. Is this a good idea? What are some tips that you can give people to be able to have a healthy relationship working together? Is it communication? Is it letting them be? I mean, what do you think? Like, 3 things that they can implement right away, maybe things that you've learned from that could possibly help these individuals that are thinking about working together.
I think if I can give any advice and going through what, our time together, it's, you can both be going towards the same goal, but yes, you do have to remember that you're both going to maybe get there a little differently. Communication is key. Even when maybe you're feeling that the other person's not doing it right, communicate it, then they can communicate it back. Y'all can find a solution somewhere. Compromise. You're both going to the same place, even if you're in 2 different vehicles. Yeah. And that's probably my best advice.
Kelly's going to be like, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, communication, definitely.
Yeah.
Communication and, what was the other one you said?
Communication
and the second one.
I think the biggest thing for me is communication. Like, I know I'm more of a let's fix it now, and Carmen's is more of a, like, calm and chill and, like...
Oh, that word. So you meant compromise.
Compromise.
Yeah, so I think it's just giving that other person the space to be able to still... Because in a relationship, you are together all the time. And, you tend to go... You're together all the time. So I think we have to remember, as human beings, we are still individuals at the end of the day, and we don't get that space. It kind of tends to,
bring tension.
Yeah, it does.
Bring tension. It's definitely, it was some getting used to and just kind of learning each other. Because at first we could get into an argument because of the way he talked to a client that I didn't like. Or I'm maybe being too critical, like, oh, you should have said this, or why are you saying this? And I had to learn that that's his client, and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys are being real, because I know like people out there like, oh, it's all nice and dandy, and we love working. Like, it's like, come on, people, like really, like we've all. I mean, if you're in a relationship, it's not gonna be perfect, but you can make it to where you guys. I think it's more, I call it more mature, like just being able to communicate. In the past, I was like, I don't give a crap. Like, and then I'd go to the bar and get drunk or whatever. It's like, it's like. But I think communication is still key, and being able to lay it out there and be like, hey, look, I know I messed up. Like, I'm not perfect, but this is how I do things. And going forward, this doesn't make me feel good. I always tell people, like, because I see it on other podcasts and stuff, it's like, okay, understand where they're coming from. Just like a client, understand where they're coming from, and then provide a solution. And if that solution doesn't work for them, let them communicate back what would work for them, So I think even though relationships shouldn't be transactional, I think sometimes they can be if you just do it the right way. I don't know. But, I mean, you guys seem to be blowing up. I mean, what's your experience? Like, what's your goals, like, going forward? Like, I know that you guys are, I don't even know how many. I see you guys closing houses every single freaking day, 2 or 3 in one day. Like, anybody would want to be where you guys are at, and at least the trajectory where you guys are going to be. What's the next goal for the Frontline Team? Like, what's the next vision? Or it doesn't have to be a Frontline Team vision. It could be your vision and your vision.
It's gonna be just to grow, to expand ourselves, multiply ourselves, to help out more families. So the very next step, we're working from home right now, but the very next step is to get an external office. That way, we can treat it more like a business than 9 to 5. Yeah. Because you can get caught up and distracted easily when you're working from home. And it's like I'm gonna make 100 calls right now, but first I'm gonna make about 10, and then I will get a snack. And then, while I have my snack, with my show, I'm going to put a show on. It's real easy just to get caught up in that. And so that's our very next step is the external office. And with the amount of friends, family, referrals that we have, we know right now we don't have enough manpower to help everyone out. And the goal is to get a little bit more manpower. That way we can expand out and help all of those that right now we're struggling to.
Is that pretty much a consensus? Like, you guys are just, that's where you want to be, and you communicate that to each other. Yeah, I mean, I think, like, I don't know why, what can you say? Because I know, like you said it earlier, you said there's enough to go around for everybody. I'm a big believer in that too. Like, I deal with it in the insurance industry. It's like, people are just like, it's like a dog-eat-dog business. You would think insurance is not like that, but it's really bad. What can you tell, like, to the fellow people, like people that are in real estate? Like, there is enough to go around. Like, there's enough to go around. What sets you guys apart to say there is enough to go around versus the person that's like, I need everything. Like, I need to have it all.
If you come from a scarcity mindset like that, then it's hard for you to allow those blessings to come into your life, for you to allow those opportunities. Yes. So that's why I think coming from a mindset of abundance, we do affirmations on a regular, and I was telling him I have an affirmation in my bathroom that says, I allow myself to receive avalanches of abundance because there's enough for everyone. So coming from that, and constantly repeating it and saying, and even there's some times where there was an instance where I helped a family, and because they had started off with another realtor, I was going to get 0 on this sell, and the client was saying, we appreciate you so much, I'm considering canceling the purchase of this house just so you can get paid. And I was like, absolutely not. this is your dream home. I will have more opportunities. That other realtor probably needs it more than me. It's okay.
Wow.
And having that, you know, another person could have been like, oh my gosh, that's money that I was counting on. I'm not going to have it. And for me, I made peace with it. If it's not for me, it's okay. I helped you. The other realtor wasn't able to find him financing and wasn't going to be able, they were not going to be able to buy that house had she not started working with us.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the way you have to think. Like, it's okay. This opportunity, this didn't work. Maybe money wise or whatever the case might be, but more opportunities are going to come, and they're going to come tenfold. You just move on, you help someone, because that's really the most important thing.
And that mindset is key. It is key, because it's a very emotional business.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses are very emotional. They'll have their up and downs, they'll have their seasons, and it's key to keep that mellow mindset that it's okay, you know, focusing on the abundance of life, and it's going to be okay.
It's going to keep on coming.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm going to be very honest, like, I've been in sales since I was 16. Customer service or sales. I've always been in sales. And there was a point when I was younger. I've always had the giving mindset, but there was a point when I was younger where I would let people get in my head, especially maybe like coworkers around me. They're like, nah, don't help that person. Like, you're not getting anything off of it. I wouldn't do that. And I started to think like that for a while. So I'm guilty of that. Like, maybe that realtor, I was probably that realtor at some point. Like, I'm not going to help that person. I'm not getting anything out of it. And I started identifying when I would do it. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff. Like, oh, I want to help you because I'm not getting anything back. And I start thinking, like, that has power. Like, I'm not going to help you because I'm not getting anything back. So now you're giving with expectation instead of giving without expectation. But there's a fine line, because we are business owners. So we can't just help everybody for free. But the fact that you can identify, like, no, I'm going to help you. This is a unique situation regardless. Like, now that I'm in a different place financially, I have more of that mindset. It's really weird. And I don't know, maybe I started changing it, and that's when more money started coming in. But I could identify back then when I wasn't doing that well, where I was thinking like that. So I think it's crazy that you say that, because it's like something happened where my mindset changed because I let the wrong people get in my head. Like, I know that you had said this earlier. It's important to surround yourself around people that are a good support system. What if somebody doesn't have good friends? Like, there's a lot of people out there that they have acquaintances, but they're not good for them. Or maybe they have family that's like, you're never going to get there. Like, I don't know why you're trying. Like, oh, like, what can you tell those people? Like, if they don't have a good support system, how do they make it through?
You gotta change your
change your circle.
You gotta change the
circle. You gotta surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, people that you can learn from. You know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yeah. You want to surround yourself. You don't want to be the smartest person. Who are you going to learn from?
Yeah, meet new people. There's even just your free Sunday church. There's groups, and they're like with ours, BRCC. There are groups of all kinds, bicycling enthusiasts, gaming enthusiasts. I mean, there's communities all over the place that you can just go and introduce yourself. You have all kinds of people that want to give seminars. They'll give them virtually, or they'll have classrooms, and you can just meet all kinds of people that way. And if you're feeling that way, a lot of it might come from just a circle around you, and maybe you need to go talk to a couple new people.
Yeah, I mean, that's good advice, because we can say, like, change it, but, like, what's an actionable step? Like, what can I do? Like, well, you're not going to find that. I mean, sometimes you can meet people at the bar and have a great conversation, but if you're always going to be there, you're probably going to run into the same people, same story. So expand your network. And going back, like, you have to get uncomfortable. Like, if you're an introvert, like, you're just, find something in common. Like you say, a running group, a bicycle group, a musician group, whatever, a church group, whatever that might be. There has to be something you like, that you can surround yourself by like-minded people. And then one thing I'll say to that is that I used to be scared of this in the past, is asking questions. Like, oh, no, I don't want to ask. Oh, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to. Now I'm like, oh, yeah, how did you do that? What did you do that? Oh, how did you get into that? The more questions I started asking, authentically, because I'm interested in learning about this person, the more I would find out, like, oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know you can do that, or I didn't. And so I'm not just expanding my knowledge to these people, but I'm learning like things that I can now learn more on. Like I'll go pick up a book and say, oh, they said that, let me go look at YouTube real quick and learn this. Like all this I never knew. This is all self-learned. Nobody helped me except the YouTube videos.
That's awesome.
But it's like, but if I didn't surround myself or talk to people and ask these questions, I wouldn't have never known that I can do these things. So, I mean, actionable steps. Like, what would be a good tip before? I know we're getting a little over here, but what would be? We talked about a lot. We talked about mindset. We talked about how can you get through things when you've gone through losses or hard times. We talked about competition. I mean, we've talked about a lot. But aside from real estate, like as a person, what can you tell people out there that maybe a couple of things that they can do to make some kind of change in their life? Like if they're really doing really, really well, like let's just say you have two people you're talking to right now. You have somebody that just lost their job, that lost their business, that's stressed out to the max, that they're contemplating God knows what, because everything got taken away from them. Or you're talking to somebody too now that is up there and they're just not feeling like that, what do you call it, that sense of accomplishment anymore. What can you tell those two people at the same time, things that they can do to maybe get out of that mindset?
So it's definitely, I think, a season. We all go through seasons. You talked about it earlier. And knowing that it is just temporary, it's a season and you're going to get through it. And just visualizing, I think, is huge. Visualizing where you want to be. Sit there and just place yourself where you want to be. Wherever that might be for anyone. Visualize, place yourself there, and just believe it, because you will achieve it if you do believe it.
Yeah, I mean, taking a moment to yourself, get all the noise out of your head. Like, because I know, like, even for the people that have the big mansions and the cars, and sometimes you can reach a dark place too. And maybe that's because there's something deep down inside that you're not fulfilling. But like you say, visualize yourself. What are you trying to fulfill? Is it love? Is it being next to your mom and dad because you somehow ruined the relationship and now you want to make amends? Or maybe it's a friend that you lost that you guys had a falling out. Like, maybe visualize yourself making amends. Maybe visualize yourself talking to your parents again. Maybe visualize yourself partnering up with somebody, an enemy in the, like, not an enemy, but maybe competition that they're always like, maybe visualize yourself sitting down with them and coming to a partnership on something. That's very, I think I agree with you there. Like, that's super important.
Yeah, and you just literally ask yourself, what's making me unhappy and what do I want that's going to make me happy? If you just take a moment to yourself to think about that right there, you'll find out, well, I'm unhappy with my financial situation. Well, what do you want to do for a living? What's going to make you happy? What's going to solve that? And in your mind, whatever it may be, you can think of it. Even if it's, I want to go to school to get my associate's degree so that I could get this one career I've always thought about being in. Well, what's stopping you from starting that right now?
Yeah.
You know, and then you track it back to the step before to where that first step is right in front of you.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, it's opening up a computer and looking at, some schools. And you can figure a path out, but you have to know why. What you want, why, and what's making you unhappy. And
it's okay to feel unhappy sometimes. Like, people get it really, I've learned to accept this over time. Like, I always thought, I have to be happy all the time. Everything has to be perfect. And if I'm not happy all the time, then something's wrong with me. Something's going on with me. And I would make myself feel bad about it. And so, like, I think you want to be happy the majority of the time, because if you're sad all the time, that's not good. But I think it's okay to embrace the sadness. Like, it's really weird, but this is what I do. And I don't know. But when I feel emotional or I feel like I need to do a release, I watch like Grey's Anatomy or something that I know that's going to make me cry because for whatever reason, like that helps me. And after that, I'm like, okay, I've cried it out. Wow, this actually helps. Like releasing that energy somehow, whether it's through tears, whether it's through working out, whether it's through talking, whether it's through dancing, whatever you want to do is releasing that. But being self-aware that it's okay to be unhappy sometimes. It's not okay to accept your unhappiness is going to be forever.
Yes.
And like you said before, with the seasons, you're going to get through it. It happens to everybody. Like, I hate when people post stuff on Instagram and this and that, and they're portraying this life where you guys were real with us today. Like, hey, yeah, we're doing well, but we had our struggles. Like, I would encourage more business owners and influencers out there to give us the real stuff too, because it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies. And it's okay to go through those things as long as you know that it's not going to be permanent and it's only temporary, and don't stay there. Is there anything else that you guys want to add? I know we talk. I'm so appreciative that you guys have been here, because it could be one person that listens to this. It could be hundreds. It could be thousands. But as long as we were able to help that one person, I mean, I'm good with that. Anything else that you want to add, or is that? I think
you had asked us what our goals were, and I know know the next the next immediate goal is of course getting the office. But for me, real estate has really taken both of us really to a different level that some only dream about. So for us to be able to help other people, whether it be my nephews, nieces, friends, anybody, achieve that level of success, and if we're able to help with that, that's everything. So that's definitely one of our goals. Like, you know, I'm sure you've seen my nephew. He's only 17. He's waiting to be 18. He's waiting to turn 18 so he can take his real estate exam.
Wow.
And so that's huge for us, because
satisfying.
we have teens looking up to us. You know, and if I'm able to make it out of the hood, you know, I grew up on the east side.
So you came out of the east side, and I'm living in the east side.
This is my hood.
This is my hood. 180, huh?
So being able to accomplish everything that we're accomplishing, and I say it very humbly, because we still want to do a lot more, but however, we're still very grateful to where we are at now. But being able to help others achieve success through real estate is a goal, is one of my main goals. Yeah,
that's awesome, because a lot of people, you know I have a team of agents, and I try, like, that's my main goal. Like, I always try to put people first. And I think there's doubters out there that are like, oh, why do you want to help me? Why would you want to help me take away the business? Or like, but like you said, there's so much to go around. There's not enough good agents. I'll say this, and I'm not in your industry, but I can say this. There's not enough good agents out there to help enough people. There's so many people. There's so many people that are trying to find homes, and that need help selling their homes because they're, whatever the reason is. There's so much out there. And like you said before, you can't be everywhere at one time. You're going to need, and what better way to help people make a career out of this, right? Like to help and take what because you guys learn from somebody, and somebody helped you. What kind of blessing would it be for you guys to help somebody else? I mean, that's all money aside, because the money's going to come. Right. But the knowledge, the experience, the vision that you're going to help them build, that's the big thing, you know? So, I mean, you guys are awesome. Like, I appreciate you as friends. Like, I appreciate you saying stuff, you know, getting kind of vulnerable and saying these things, because we know that people need to hear this message. I want to do so. Oh, this is like random. I'm willing to do like a $200 giveaway, like to somebody that needs help that's listening to right now. Do you guys want to contribute?
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, this was not, I promise you, this was not something that I just felt like sometimes you gotta, so like that's like $400 or whatever you guys want to give. But I want to help like somebody out there that maybe needs help. Like if you know somebody,
especially right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm willing to do that right now. thank you so much, guys.
Of course.
You
We
guys
love
are
you.
awesome.
We
Yes,
love
we love
you.
you guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. How about Zach and Kelly?
Zelly.
We're also going by
Kelly and
Zelly.
Zack, Zelly with the Frontline Team. They've been awesome. I hope you guys shared this message with anybody that you know. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.